Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and to today's video, which is going to be another book haul. I have been filming one too many of these this year, but I am just going to go ahead and film this one because there is definitely enough for a video, and I need to get these on my shelves because I stack them up on my printer while I'm waiting to haul them, and the pile has gotten a little bit out of control, so it's time to get these on my shelves rather than just hanging out in my room. I do have 35 books to show you today, but before we get into the books, I want to show you just a couple of bookish items that I've got. So first up, we have this exclusive print from A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. This was sent by, I'm pretty sure, Waterstones, and I cannot remember what the reason was for. It was something related to the pre-order for this book. And I don't know, they just like sent me an email saying that I could apply for this free artwork. So I did, and it came the other day. So I thought I would show it to you. So I guess this is the 4 covers. Don't know, I haven't read the series, but cute. So I thought I would include it. And then I also got this from Vinted. It's the Tempest for Tea. Is that what it's called? Book jacket. A Tempest of Tea, and I just thought this was so pretty, and I don't subscribe to Illumicrate, but I really liked this book jacket. It is huge. You would definitely fit a hardback in here, like a big hardback. Even then I think it's maybe a little bit big for that. And it's also got this pocket here as well that you can fit like pens and stuff in, so it would be good for carrying a lot of things, not just books. And I just thought that this art was gorgeous, so I wanted to pick this up. And as I say, I'm not subscribed, so I picked it up from Vinted. So now let me haul the romances for you, because that is by far the majority of this haul. So first up, I have Hate Mail by Donna Marchetti. I got this from The Works. Works basically sells books, but it also sells crafty things, and it may be kind of like Target but way smaller, but the books that they sell in there are a really good deal, so I pick up a lot of books from there. And I wasn't going to pick this one up because it is an Enemies to Lovers, but this cover is drawn by Leonie Kaufman, who is my favourite book cover artist, so I couldn't not because it was £3. So as I say, this is an Enemies to Lovers about Naomi and Luca. They've been pen pals since 5th grade, but it was really more like bitter rivals. They were constantly insulting each other, but it turned into a friendship over the years. And then 2 years ago, Luca just stopped writing and Naomi hasn't heard from him. And then a letter turns up kind of at her door at work, and she needs to find out what is going on. So I'm guessing there will be a lot of letters and stuff in here, so we'll see what I think. I've not really heard anybody talk about this, but this cover is gorgeous, so hopefully I'll like it. Next up, a book that I picked up from Vinted. This is Booked on a Feeling by JC Lee. I love this cover, it's so cute, and this really sounds like my kind of book because this is a friends to lovers, which is one of my favorite tropes. So Lizzie is a lawyer and she's hoping to make a partner, but she has a panic attack at the most pivotal point of her career. Can 100% relate as a panic attack sufferer, and so she takes some time to recharge. She goes back home to her childhood best friend Jack, who has 3 weeks to make Lizzie kind of realize that she should be with him. This is probably going to be so cute. I'm really excited, and they're like revamping the like local bookstore, so we've got super cute book elements as well. Next up, a book that I haven't heard anything about, but I picked this up as part of the 3 for £6 deal in The Works because they do these amazing deals. This is Rent to Be by Sonia Hart. This is Brother's best friend. So Isla is working a job that she hates. Her car's broken down. Her flatmates have evicted her. She's having a really rough time. She doesn't want to go to her parents, so she decides to secretly crash at her brother's place, but then realizes that his best friend Cade is staying there. So she's like, oh, okay, well, please, can you not say anything? I really need somewhere to stay. And he agrees, but only if she agrees to pose as his fake girlfriend. So we've got a fake dating in here as well, which is one of my favorite tropes. This book is very short though. It's like under 300 pages. So it's going to be interesting to see like how much we can cover in that time, but short book is no bad thing. Sorry, I've just realized I'm like, oh, scuffing the art on the floor. But a short book is no bad thing because some of the books we've got here are really not short. So I'm excited to see what I think of this one. Next up, we have a book I absolutely loved from 2022. This is Kiss the Girl by Zoraida Kurova, and I got the arc of this, so I just really wanted a physical copy, and I picked this one up from Vinted. There are quite a lot of copies of this on Vinted, so if this sounds like your kind of thing, I would really recommend having a look on there. So this is a Little Mermaid retelling. It's the 3rd in the Meant to Be series, which are Disney retellings, each by a different author. You do not need to read them all. I have a vlog where I read the first 3. You don't need to read them in order. They are not connected, so just pick up whichever one sounds good. This is definitely my favorite of the 3 that are out so far, but we are getting the Rapunzel one this year, and it's written by Christina Lauren, so we'll see. But this one is about Ariel, obviously, who is one of like a singing group with her sisters, and her dad is really, really difficult to be around. She doesn't want to keep doing this. She wants to give up, but she is the kind of the real shining star of their group of sisters. But she ends up meeting this guy called Eric. I'm pretty sure he's called Eric. Yeah, called Eric. And she has this really, really fun night with him, and then decides that actually she doesn't want to go back to her singing career. She's going to run away with Eric, and she like stows away on his band's tour bus, and goes on tour with him. And it's such a fun retelling of the Little Mermaid story, and it removes a lot of the more problematic elements of the Little Mermaid. It's so good. I would really, really recommend it. It's really fun, and I love Zoraida Korova's writing. Next up, I have another book that I got from Vinted that is one that I've really, really wanted to read for a while. This is West Side Love Story by Priscilla Oliveras. And this is a like West Side Story, Romeo and Juliet retelling. West Side Story is my favorite musical of all time. So very, very excited with this one. And look at this cover. So gorgeous. So yeah, we've definitely got a kind of Romeo and Juliet retelling here, because we've got two families who are basically, yeah, fighting each other, but it's like a battle of the bands. So it sounds really fun. And, you know, these are two people, you know, we've got that kind of star-crossed lovers, people meant to be together, but their families are totally feuding, do not want them to be together. So I'm hoping this will be really fun, and I'm really, really excited to own the physical copy of this. So I was very grateful to the Vinted person who was selling it. Next up, I have Better Hate Than Never by Chloe Lees. Again, I picked this up in the 3 for £6 deal. I haven't read the first one in this, which is Two Wrongs Make a Right. It's somewhere up there on my shelves. I can't remember which Shakespeare this is a retelling of, but they are a retelling of different Shakespeares. And this one is very much an enemies to lovers kind of thing, or like rivals to lovers. So I don't know if I will like it, but I couldn't resist picking it up for £2, so had to get it. In this one, we have Katerina and Christopher. They used to be good friends as kids, but now they won't even share the same hemisphere. They really, really don't get on. But then when drunk, Kate reveals that actually she has only been being fiery with Christopher because she thought he hated her. Then they share a passionate kiss, turns into more. We'll see. Now we get into a couple of series. So I don't know what this series is called, but it's by Hannah Bonham Young. I have read Next of Kin. I picked this one up from Vinted, but you might find it in the works. This is in my works, but isn't in other works I've been in. But this one is not in my works, but was in the works that I went to yesterday in a different town. So a little bit hit and miss as to whether you can get these or not at the moment, but I loved Next of Kin. One of my favorite books. I got the ARC for this. Covers drawn by Leni Kaufman, amazing. But this is about Chloe, who she doesn't really have much to do with her birth mother because she was put into foster care, etc. And then she finds out that her birth mum is having another child, and the birth mum really wants Chloe to take the baby to make sure that she can stay in the family. Chloe agrees to do so, but she needs another person to kind of like co-sign on an apartment for her in order to be able to get one. And she gets put in touch by her social worker with Warren and his brother Luke, and they Warren doesn't want anything from Chloe. He doesn't really want to have this deal of living together, but he has also had a really, really difficult childhood. He is desperate to not be separated from his brother, so he agrees to live with Chloe. And it's about these two people who are not really used to relying on anyone else, figuring out how to live together and become a family. It's so cute. I think it's done really well. It has really good representation. Luke, Warren's brother, is deaf, and that's handled really well in this. I cannot recommend this book enough. Definitely try and pick it up if you can. And so then this one is Next to You by Hannah Bonham Young. I love this cover as well. So beautiful. This one is about Lane, who is Chloe's best friend. She's in the middle of an identity crisis. So she decides to buy a big yellow school bus that she's going to turn into her home. She doesn't really have the renovation experience to do this, so she enlists the help of her friend Matt, who has much more of the experience in this area, to get him to help. But while she definitely has a crush on Matt, they've agreed nothing's going to happen between them. But, you know, he's agreeing to help her with the school bus. He agrees to help her in the bedroom, and then it's probably going to turn into more. We love our Friends to Lovers. This is probably going to be super cute as well. Then another series that I have is the Love Like Farm series by BK Borison. So I have read the first one because I got it on Kindle. I gave it 4 stars. I found it a little bit challenging to get through, but I was like under the impression that this is definitely a book I would love, and I was reading it around the Christmas season, which is not my ideal time for reading. And then I was able to get all 3 of these ones on Vinted, so I decided to pick them up, and I have the 4th one, the Arc from NetGalley, so I decided that I would need these. I also think these would look so cute tabbed. I've only ever tabbed one book, but I think these would look so cute tabbed. I've also just bought some matching bookmarks for these from Ashworth Books, so I'm very excited to have them. I'm not going to read about the other 2 because they're just featuring characters from the first one, but the first one is a Friends to Lovers, and each of them is set in a different series. So this is the like wintry one. So yeah, I'm excited to get back to Love Light Farms, get back to the characters and see what happens with them from there. Also, this just looks so cute, like all together. Adorable. Okay, so now we're going to just look at the kind of like witchy fantasy romances. They're not really true fantasy romances, but a little bit there. So first up we have Witch You Gonna Do by Avery Flynn. I got this from Vinted. I'm so happy to have this because this is a cover that I have loved ever since it came out because it's drawn by Lena Kaufman. I don't know how much this book is going to be my kind of thing, which is why I wasn't willing to pay what this book is like listed for on Amazon, because it is an enemies to lovers, but I do really like a witchy romance. So this is about Tilda and Gil, and Tilda is part of a magical family, but she doesn't really seem to have magical powers. And then something goes wrong and she curses her entire family, and the only person that can help her is Gil, who she is super attracted to but doesn't want to admit it. They have a little bit of bantery kind of rivals going on. So yeah, we'll see what I think, but it's the cover, okay? I'm such a cover buyer. Okay, and then next up we have Do Your Worst by Rosie Danan. I have read the first one, The Roommate, and I'm currently reading The Intimacy Experiment. I wouldn't say Rosie is my favourite author of all time, but this one sounded cute. I love the cover, and it was in the 3 for £6 deal. So I'm going to read the blurb for this one because it's one of those where the blurb is not going into my head. If you've watched any of my hauls before, it does happen with the old book. So Riley Rhodes finally has the chance to turn her family's knack for the supernatural into a legitimate business when she's hired to break the curse on a famous Scottish castle. Used to working alone in her alienating occupation, she's pleasantly surprised to meet a handsome stranger upon arrival until he tries to get her fired. Fresh off a professional scandal, Clark Edgware can't allow a self-proclaimed curse breaker to threaten his last chance for redemption. After he fails to get Riley kicked off his survey site, so he's an archaeologist, he vows to avoid her. Unfortunately for him, she vows to get even. Riley expects the curse to do her dirty work by driving Clark away, but instead they keep finding themselves in close proximity. Too close. Turns out the only thing they do better than fight is fool around. If they're not careful, by the end of all this, more than this castle will end up in ruins. So yeah, we've got another enemies to lovers. Enemies to lovers is so the most popular trope, and I'm still trying to figure out if it's a trope I can get on board with, but I have found some that I've liked, so we'll see. And definitely if it's got a witchy element, more likely to enjoy. So then I also picked up A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch by Sarah Hawley. I know that there is the first one in the series. I'm just waiting to find it cheap enough at a Works or something, which is A Witch's Guide to Fate Dating a Demon. So this one is about Caladia Cunnington. She's a bit rough around the edges. She's got a hot temper. She stops a demon attack one night and then is horrified to realise that it's a man she really doesn't like, who's Astaroth. But he's having amnesia. He doesn't remember anything about his old life, and he's much easier for her to get on with. And so even though she kind of begrudgingly agrees to help him, she's actually really enjoying spending time with him. Sounds interesting. And again, I love the covers of these. So excited to see what I think of Sarah Hawley's writing because I've never read anything by her. Then it is the only like non-novel in this haul, which is unusual for me, but this is Lore Olympus Volume 6. I thought I would put it in here because I don't really know where else it's going to go. This is one of my favourite graphic novel series. It's a Hades and Persephone's retelling. So very excited to have this, though I'm not very happy that the one I have from Waterstones is like bent in the corners. I didn't want to have to go through the effort of sending it back because sending stuff back to Waterstones is like very difficult to do. So I'm just gonna hope it's ripped as well. I should have just bought it in store. But yeah, excited to read it because I love the story of these. Just so beautiful. It's a 5-star series overall for me. So excited to have the next one in my hands. Okay, so now we're in the sports romance category. I have read Icebreaker and I really enjoyed it, so I've decided I'm in my sports romance era now. I'm not a sporty person, but I can definitely get on board with sports romance. So you may have seen, if you're in the UK, that The Works was having these amazing deals on Elle Kennedy books. So I bought both series. So this one is the which series is this one? So this is the Off Campus series by Elle Kennedy, and then I also have the Bri You series. So yeah, it's a little excessive, but anyway. So I have no idea what these are about. We've definitely got some hockey here. We've definitely got some hockey here. They might all be hockey. Oh, they are possibly all hockey. Yeah, they're maybe all hockey, which is not a sport I know anything about, but you know, I learned some stuff in Icebreaker. But yeah, I don't know what I will think of these. I know that they have, you know, relatively good reviews on Goodreads, so I'm excited to get to them, but I haven't opened them up yet because I just don't know where these are going to go on my shelves, because these spines are not going to go that well in my rainbow shelves, like especially not these ones with these little flags. And so I need to figure out what I'm going to do with them. Next up, another book that I was really excited to find on Vinted. This is Catching Feelings by Maren Moore. Look at this cover. So cute. And then she also, the person that sold it to me, included some stickers. One of them I have misplaced currently. But yeah, some stickers that came with like the promotional set. And this one is also signed. So very cool. So this one is also a hockey romance, and it's a university one as well. So I think going to be quite similar to Icebreaker. And it is an enemies to lovers, but also we've got the roommate trope in here, which I like. This is the female main character whose name I don't know. It's a kind of misunderstanding of like assuming that Reese, the hockey player, is going to be kind of, you know, really difficult to get along with, but actually that's not the true him. So we've just opened to a very fun page there. So really excited to read this one, and as I say, I love this cover. Then I have A Little Magic by Lindsay Lanza. This cover is also so cute, and I got it from the same person that I bought the last one from. This is a second chance romance about Ellie, who fled Vermont after high school. She hasn't been back. She doesn't really have a relationship with her parents or her brother. She doesn't come back to see her pets, nothing. It's kind of known as like the before. And she was in love with her brother's best friend, her first love, but he's a distant and painful memory. She's never gone back. But she ends up caught in a blizzard. She has to go back. She has to see Theo. He's been in love with her this whole time, so he's going to try and get her back. Oh, cute, cute, cute. Then I also have Offside, from the Rules of the Game series by Avery Keelan. This book is so large. Like, why? You know how I feel if you've been here around. If you've watched any of my videos before, I'm not a fan of a romance that's like 500 pages. It's a lot. But this is somebody who gets dumped by her boyfriend on her 21st birthday. So she decides that to get back at him, she's going to kiss his ex, but she's so drunk she ends up being sick all over his shoes. He takes care of her all night. She doesn't think he's ever going to want to see her again, but he does. They end up kind of fake dating, hanging out a lot, but but then her brother hates him and her friends don't approve, and so she's forced to choose her loyalties. This is also quite small writing. Avery clearly has a lot to say about this, so hopefully I'm gonna like it. I then also have these three books by Grace Riley. So we have First Down, Breakaway, and Stealing Home, which I think are all part of a series, and I got them all from the works for £3 each. Such a win. So we've got, this one is like an ice hockey player, this one is future in the NFL, and this one is MLB. So three different sports in these ones. Fun. I'm not going to read too much about them because this video will go on forever, but yeah, I'm excited to get to these, and I really like the covers of them, so we can show you those because really we're all here for the cover buys. So I just thought, because I'm in my sports romance era, I would pick them all up rather than like see if I actually like Grace's writing first. Smart. This is that other sticker, the Maren Moore one. So cute. Okay, and now we move into the special editions. Way less special editions than we had in my last haul, which is both sad but good. It's better for my bank balance this way. So first up, let's do the paperbacks. I have Burning Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Webber. This is the third in the Twin Crowns series. I haven't read any of them, but these go out of stock really quickly. So I have the first one I got from Fairy Loot. That's this like flowery one, and then the pink one next to it, I originally didn't get the one I wanted, like with the spine I wanted, and then it came back on stock on Waterstones, and I was so quick in ordering it, so I've decided to order this. Hopefully I really like this series, but I just wanted to make sure I got the spine I wanted. I'm pretty sure I get the rose spines. I think it's like two sisters, there's Rose and Wren, and I think I have the rose spines. Obviously, because my first one is I can't think like which way to move my hand. This one is a fairy loot one. It is different, but I decided that like the spines don't actually match that much that I need to go back out and buy twin crowns in a different spine. And also I really, really like that spine. I'm not going to read the blurb because I don't know anything about the series because I haven't read the others, but hopefully I enjoy it. And I really like the orange. And the other paper book I have is Collide by Balcabra. I'm so glad that I've waited out on getting this so that I could have these sprayed edges from the works. You can still pick this up if this book sounds like your kind of thing. This one, the sporty one, I'll put the cover on the screen. I didn't like that one. It's a sporty one. They're all sporty. The Formula One book, I didn't like. I DNF'd the arc for that, but the sprayed edges are very cool. And also Love at First Night, which I loved the first book in this series. Didn't like this one, DNF'd it as well, but really pretty sprayed edges. But this one I'm hoping I will enjoy. So this one is sports romance and it's Summer and Aiden. Aiden, captain of the hockey team, Summer, sports psychologist, and they're forced together to kind of like work on this research paper that Summer has. They really enjoy bickering with each other and then it turns into more. So, you know, kind of similar to the others, but sounds fun. Then we have a couple of hardback special editions. So first up we have The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I gave this book 4 stars, but I really enjoyed it. I still think about it now, so it probably deserved a higher rating. I couldn't not get this though, because look at these sprayed edges. But most importantly, right, I'm not obsessed with the dust jacket, to be honest, but the naked hardcover, I'm sorry, I couldn't not. Like, I really tried to resist, but I couldn't not get it, okay? This is one of the prettiest naked hardcovers I've ever seen. Like, look at with the music notes around, the gold foil on like the creamy cover. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. So this is about, what the names? His name is Aaron Blackford. What is her name? Catalina. And Lena, so Lena is invited to the wedding of her sister, but her ex is going to be there and she's really worried about going back home and not having progressed with her life when he has. And she is like on the phone to her family while she's at work being like, oh yeah, I'll bring my boyfriend that I don't actually have. And then Aaron keeps volunteering to be this boyfriend and she thinks he's joking. They don't really get on. She doesn't understand why he would volunteer for that, but he keeps volunteering and she has no other option than to take him with her to his sister's wedding. Aaron is lovely, like a really, you know, one of those beautiful book boyfriends, and Lena is really likable. I really enjoyed this book and I couldn't not have this edition. So I'm very, very happy to have it. I'm glad that I didn't listen to the me that was being sensible. I'm glad that I got it. So the next book I have is an Afterlight exclusive. I'm not subscribed to Afterlight because I do mostly prefer my romances to be paperbacks, but this one I picked up from Vinted because it just really sounds like my kind of thing. This is The Kiss Countdown by Etta Easton. These are so small compared to like a normal hardback, but it's cute actually. I could see now a bit more of the selling point of getting these. And this one is not too long either. Yeah, it's like just 300 pages. So this one is a fake dating romance. It's about Amory, who she's jobless, newly single. She's about to be evicted. She runs into her ex and his new girlfriend. And so she just decides to say she's fake dating this random guy she just met. And he is an astronaut. I love, if a book's got space in it, I love it. He's an astronaut and they basically agree to fake date. So she agrees to be his fake girlfriend for some work things, I assume. And she can live in his spare room rent-free for a few months. But what she doesn't plan for is that actually he is really likable, but it's figuring out how they can have a life together with him being an astronaut. It's a really unpredictable, you know, way to live. So, and this is so cute. It's white with silver foil. I love it. These are the sprayed edges with the cute little rocket on it. And then the end papers, we've got these. Oh, and they're different. Oh, really cute. Love the art for these. And yeah, I like that it's so small. That's really fun. Like, obviously it's going to be smaller than like every other hardback on my shelf, but I love that it's so tiny. If you subscribe to Afterlight, let me know if that's normal, that the books, because like, obviously I have the Spanish Love Deception from Fairy Loot, and that is like a proper size hardback. But this is like not much taller than a paperback. So yeah, super cute. And it also came with this art print as well. Really fun. And then the last book, I won't talk about it for masses because I do have a separate video on this, but that is the May May, I think, romantasy subscription from Fairy Loot. So if you want the full unboxing, you can check out that video. But it is A Curse of Blood and Wolves by Melissa McTernan. This is a Red Riding Hood retelling. This is one of my favorite editions I've ever had. These sprayed edges are everything. We've got silver foil. We've got like this amazing naked hardcover. We've got an alternative jacket. Like, it's beautiful. No idea whether the book will be any good, but I really love the sprayed edges. So that is it for today's video. My hair has been massively frizzing while we've been doing that video, so I'm gonna try and go and sort this out. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would really appreciate a like, and if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe. In the description, I will have a link to my Instagram and my Goodreads if you want to check out any more content from me. I will also have a link to my Vinted where I sell books that I am no longer keeping, so do feel free to check that out if you want to pick up a bargain. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!